Hello. Today we will talk about what is hydrocephalus and why it occurs. First of all, let's explain the structure of our brain. In order to truly understand the disease of hydrocephalus, this structure must be known first. Our brain floats in a fluid inside the skull. This is called cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid provides our brain with various needed electrolytes, nutrients. It also has a protective effect and is a fluid with many functions. Like the brain's surroundings, this fluid is densely located in the middle of the brain in the spaces that we call the ventricles. Actually, the greatest amount of this cerebrospinal fluid is produced and formed in these cavities in the middle of the brain, which we call them ventricles. After it is produced here, it is distributed to the whole of the brain, all around it, again with the help of canals in the brain, and finally it is reabsorbed by the veins. Knowing this structure, we will understand more easily why hydrocephalus occurs, why this disease occurs. We said that the cerebrospinal fluid is produced in the cavities we call the ventricles. There are various types of hydrocephalus. If there is an obstruction in those canals after production occurs, if there is a blockage in these canals, this fluid accumulates in the previous part because of this obstruction. And then an increase in its volume and pressure happens, and the spaces we call that ventricles begin to grow. We call this ventriculomegaly. And since the brain is in a closed box, the skull, an increased volume and pressure inside begins to affect the brain negatively. Well, what else could be the cause of hydrocephalus? What we said, the cerebrospinal fluid is formed in these cavities, dispersed with the help of canals, and is reabsorbed by the veins. If a problem occurs in the reabsorption of this fluid in the veins, that is, if the cerebrospinal fluid is produced but cannot be reabsorbed, an increase happens again in its volume and pressure, which we call communicative hydrocephalus. There are various reasons for such obstructions, that is, obstructions in the canals, but the most common reason is the narrowing of that canal as a congenital anomaly that we see mostly in children. And because of the narrowing of the canal, those three cavities expand and the situation we call acute hydrocephalus occurs. This is the picture we see in newborns. Those ventricular cavities expand in babies' skulls, as well as their heads start to grow and expand. We'll talk about the details later. This is roughly how hydrocephalus occurs. You can send us your examination and consultation requests on our website or through our communication channels in the description section of the video, so we can get back to you in a short time. You can also watch our other informative videos about hydrocephalus and share your questions and opinions with us in the comments section. If you write in the comments what other topics you would like to be informed about in the field of neurosurgery, we will gladly make new videos for you on these topics as well. I wish you all good health and good days.